In this video, we'll look at the break-even analysis using the formula-based approach. So break-even analysis is the analysis to understand at what point will a company break even. And that point where the company will break even is known as the break-even point. So let us now understand what is meant by breaking even and how does a company know at what point are they going to break even. Let's say that you are in a casino and are playing the game roulette. So you are in the casino and playing the game of roulette. Now you take out $20 from your pocket and buy playing chips for that amount. So this $20 is your investment, or in other words, your cost for playing the round of roulette. So your investment is $20. Now after the round is completed, you win the game and you get back an amount of $40. So this amount that you're getting back is also known as the revenue, which is $40. So your profit is going to be 40 minus 20, which is $20. Now let's say your investment was $20 and you lost the game. So the return that you get is $0. So in that case, your loss is $20. And let's say you invested $20 and you got back $20. So overall, you are in a situation of no profit, no loss. And this situation is known as break even. That means you are in a no profit, no loss situation. Now let us look at this analysis from a corporate world's perspective. Let's say that you decide to open up a business to assemble personal computers and then sell it to the consumers. So you are assembling PCs. Now in order to do that, you will either have to first rent or buy a facility where these PCs will be assembled. And the amount of money that you are going to pay for this facility is known as the fixed cost, because it is constant and does not depend on how many PCs you are assembling. So fixed cost is the facility cost. I mean, this is just an example. There can be other things also which can be considered as fixed cost. Then you will also have to purchase the PC parts which you want to assemble, and also hire some people who can assemble the PCs using these parts. So both of these things will incur a cost which is dependent on the number of PCs that you want to be assembled. So if you want to assemble one PC per week, then you probably need one person and parts needed only for one PC per week. However, if you want to assemble 100 PCs per week, then you will have to hire more people and also buy more raw material. So this type of cost, which is dependent on the volume of the final product that you are producing, is known as the variable cost. That means it varies with the volume. So variable cost can be labor, raw material, etc. So we have understood what is fixed cost and what is variable cost. And when we combine the two, we get the total cost. So total cost is equal to fixed cost plus the variable cost. So we can represent total cost as T, fixed cost as F, and variable cost as V. Now this total cost is the initial investment of $20 which you did on the roulette table in the casino. Now let's expand further on this formula for total cost. So the variable cost varies based on the number of PCs which are assembled. Now let's say that the number of PCs assembled is represented by Q. So Q is the number of units, and the cost of labor, raw material, etc. for assembling each personal computer is represented by small c. So each unit costs C and there are Q number of units being assembled. So the total variable cost is equal to the multiplication of Q and C. So now if we plug number 2 into number 1, we'll get T is equal to F plus QC. Now after you have assembled the Q quantity of personal computers, you start selling them at a selling price, let's say represented by P. So P is the unit selling price, and the quantity that you sold was Q. That means you were able to sell all the number of units that you assembled. So if each of them was sold at a price of P, then the total amount of money received, or in other terms, the total revenue, is P multiplied by Q. So total revenue is Q multiplied by P. This is, let's say, number 4. So this total revenue can be considered the amount that you received at the roulette table at the end of first round. So your total cost is fixed cost plus the multiplication of quantity and the unit cost. Your total revenue is the multiplication of the number of units and the unit selling price. So while a company starts producing and selling the product, it will go through multiple phases. The first will be where the total revenue is less than the total cost. So the company has recently started the operations. The fixed cost is high because it had set up a factory, and in the beginning the revenue is less than the total cost. In this situation, the company is still in a situation of a loss. As it continues selling more products and increases its profitability, it will reach a stage where the total revenue is equal to the fixed cost plus the variable cost. That is a point which we call as break-even point. And as it continues to produce more, the total revenue will exceed the total cost. And that will be a situation of profit. So the break even point is the point where your total revenue has become equal to your total cost. That means you have produced enough that if you sell all of it, then you will recover your fixed cost plus your variable cost. So if we have to find out the minimum quantity that we need to assemble in order to recover the fixed and variable cost, then the formula will be QP is equal to F plus QC. Or let's bring this QC on the other side. So QP minus QC is equal to F. Or Q into bracket P minus C is equal to F, or Q is equal to F divided by P minus C. So this is the formula to find out the quantity at which the firm will break even, where F is the fixed cost, P is the unit selling price, and C is the unit cost. So basically this formula is in terms of the units produced. So let's say somebody comes to you and asks you, okay, how many PCs do you need to assemble in order to recover all your costs? So you'll use this formula to find that quantity. Now let's say that the person comes and asks you, how much sales do you need to do in order to recover your total cost? Now sales also means revenue, and revenue is the multiplication of the number of units with the unit selling price. So in this formula, to get the sales at which you are going to break even, what we can do is we multiply Q with P, and on the other side also we multiply with P. Now you can also say that this we already have here, but on the other side, since we have Q in the formula which we don't know, we can't find the total sales or the total revenue. So here QP is equal to F divided by P minus C multiplied by, we can also write this as 1 divided by 1 by P, right? So this means if we bring this up, it will become P, which is the same as the previous expression. Or QP is equal to F divided by 1 by P multiplied by P minus C. Or QP is equal to F divided by, now we'll open this bracket, so P divided by P minus C divided by P. Or QP is equal to F divided by 1 minus C by P. So here we have the formula for finding out the revenue at which the firm will break even. And what we need to know is the fixed cost, the unit cost, and the unit selling price.